Hey YouTubers, how's everybody doing? I am extremely honored that with over 37 million channels on YouTube, you chose to stop by this little place. My name is JC and this is the Cuban Redneck DIY channel where we do cooking and grilling on Tuesdays and DIY stuff on Fridays. Don't care about the cooking part? No problem. Just click on the title of the channel where you will find multiple playlists dedicated to everything DIY. I want to welcome the rest of you to my kitchen where today we're going to be addressing a request. So I just say something that has come up on our Facebook group, Cuban Food Nation, several times, and that having to do with Natilla Cubana, the Creme Brulee, and La Crema Catalana. So basically, those three things are very similar. They're pretty, there is some inconsistencies with the ingredients and the way it's cooked. But overall, they are pretty close to each other. I guess you can call them family of each other's. So let's break them down. First of all, is the Cuban Natilla. The Cuban Natilla is basically a vanilla pudding. It's just a little bit thicker. And although the recipe changes from household to household, often you'll find people adding condensed milk or an entire egg instead of just yolks to make it a little bit thicker. The French creme brulee is a little bit more fatty. It's done with cream instead of milk, and it is baked like a flan in the oven instead of stove top. And then you got the oldest and the original, which is La Crema Catalana, and that is a Spanish custard or natilla that has a burnt caramel crust on top, and it is a very popular dessert, and often, they often serve you a 6 for $9. They'll often make a crema catalana and serve it to you as a creme brulee, or make a creme brulee and serve it to you as a crema catalana. Although I believe that the crema catalana has a little bit more body. The creme brulee is a little bit more soft, I guess you can call it. But it really all depends on the recipe and how you do it. I worked at a restaurant more than 3 decades ago, where they used to use the same base for all different things, including señoritas, which is a Cuban take, I'm going to say loosely take on tiramisu. It's basically a layer cake, flaky cake with a natilla filling in it. It's called señorita cake. And they did natillas by themselves. They also did, crema catalanas, etc. So today I'm going to share with you a restaurant recipe for making all of these dishes, which is actually based on a Natilla Cubana. And we're also going to address the fear that a lot of people have of making the creme brulee, which is the burnt part of the sugar. I'm going to show you a little trick, so stick by, check this out. Okay, so I decided to take a little deviation from my screenplay and address the end of the video at the beginning. That having to do with burning the caramel on your creme brulee or in your crema catalana. Please don't do the mistake that a lot of people do and buy one of these refillable torches. They don't work, they're very inconsistent, they are expensive, and it's very difficult to get them refilled correctly. Once you get air into them, they'll start misfiring, and they just don't work very well. Instead, consider buying one that looks like this. This one, I've had this one for a long time, maybe 10 years or so. It does have a part number, and I'll try to research it. I'll try to find it on Amazon or eBay or whatever, and get you guys a link on the description. This gets paired with this tank, and I paid about $10–15 for this, but as I said, that was a decade ago. I will try to find it. And this is the gas that you use with it. This is ordinary butane. You can buy this at Walmart for like $2.50. And this can will last probably 3 times of those skinny refillable bottles that they have. All you do is you hook it up to it. You open it up just a little bit, crank it, and you're ready to go. Now, this is very consistent. One tip, if you decide to go shopping, you go to Bed Bath & Beyond, something like that, just look for one that has a long cannon. The ones that are short have their issues as well. I think that what makes this one work is the long cannon, the long barrel. With that said, There's also another way of doing it without a torch, and that having to do that is in the microwave. So it is not the ideal, but it may get you by. So check this out. Just keep it in the back of your head. I'm not endorsing this, but it is available, and a lot of restaurants use it. So just check this out. Great. So let's make some caramel in the microwave. We're gonna need a microwave safe container. Preferably one of those Pyrex cups that has a little peak so that you can pour it. We're gonna need a good heat resistant mint, and a 1 tablespoon scoop and a 1 teaspoon scoop. We're gonna add, we're also gonna need something to lower the pH of the sugar. You can use honey, or you can use lemon juice. All you need is a little dab, and what I mean a little dab is all you really need. So I'm gonna put that there. All right, and now we need, I would recommend putting the water first. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of water, okay? And go ahead and break down the honey or the lemon juice, whatever it is that you're using. Once that is dissolved, then we'll add a tablespoon of sugar. I'm gonna leave it in there for a few seconds until all the sugar is wet. We're then going to place it in the microwave somewhere between a minute 20 to a minute 35. In my microwave, a minute 28 is perfect. But as with anything in the microwave, it's going to change from unit to unit. Okay, our microwave time is about to expire. Let's use this dish as for demonstration purposes. And here we have microwave caramel. And you can use this to pour over your Crema Catalana, or you can also use this to make single serving flans. This is a great addition. Please be careful when doing this. This is extremely dangerous. Caramel is not something to play around with. This is about 490 degrees and will definitely give you a nasty burn. We're gonna start our Crema Catalana by adding 1 cup of evaporated milk to a measuring cup. And 1 cup of whole milk. You can use all whole milk, but then you'll have to add sugar. If you use evaporated milk, you don't need to add the sugar, and you end up with a creamier Natilla or Crema Catalana. Is put our milk in a deep saucepan over relatively low heat on my stove. Number 3 is perfect. To that, we are going to add the skin of a lemon. Now, if you want to destroy a Crema Catalana or Natilla, you put lemon skin that has this white stuff on it. Now, it's sometimes difficult to get in as clean as this, but you can use a paring knife or some kind of small knife and scrape it until you see the pores from the skin. All right, so we have the whole skin of a whole lemon here, and we have some, this is some organic cinnamon. A couple of cinnamon sticks will do. Now, ideally we want to use some real vanilla beans, but I don't have any, so I am going to do this in 2 parts. I'm going to add a teaspoon now, and then we're going to add a teaspoon later. Why? Well, basically, vanilla, some of the vanilla is going to evaporate. This has alcohol in it. What happens is that the taste is not as intense. And we're going to allow that to come to a very, very low simmer. We don't want it to boil. We just want it to, we want all these flavors to infuse. Quick tip, somebody told me that you could use the some lemon extract instead of the lemon peel, and that way you don't have to worry about the bitterness. I have never used it, but I don't see why it wouldn't work. Okay, as we start to see a little bubbles, we're starting to see a little bit of friction on the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and turn it off. I'm gonna let it sit there to cool off while we prepare the eggs. The egg part is pretty simple. We're going to separate 5 eggs, into which we're going to add 1/4 cup of sugar. We're going to mix that. Then on a separate container, we're going to dissolve 1 tablespoon of cornstarch into a 1/2 cup of cold milk. I'm going to mix them with a power mixer, which may be somewhat of a controversial subject because a lot of people said that it adds foam. However, you will see later on that once we bring it up to temperature, the foam will go away. By now our milk should be cool enough to where we can incorporate it to the eggs. I'm using a strainer here, but this is not 100% necessary since more than likely you're going to have to strain it one more time. We're going to mix this well, and then we're going to put it back on the stove on the same saucepan we used before, but not before straining. And this time it's not an option since more than likely we're going to have little lumps from the cornstarch. Now comes the part that I like the least about making crema catalana, and that is the stirring. We're going to place this just below medium heat, and my stove is a number 4, and continue to stir it until it thickens up. Here it is after 5 minutes, and once again after 10 minutes. It actually took about 17 to 18 minutes for mine to thicken up, and it actually got a little bit thicker than I would like simply because I turned off the heat and let it sit on top of the stove. We're then going to place it in our serving dishes, and after letting it rest for about 10 minutes, we're going to cover them with saran wrap before putting them in the fridge. If you don't put a saran wrap, they'll create a hard crust on top. After letting them cool for about 4 to 5 hours, we are ready to plate, but not before we do our caramel topping. One tip for doing the caramel is if you place it into a larger dish, you can spin that dish around and get around the edges a lot better. Please note that the caramel topping has to be done just prior to serving. If you pre-do the caramel and put it in the fridge, the caramel will start to break down and you will end up with a lot of liquid, a lot of fluid or water around the edges. The only thing I'm regretting just about now is not having made a larger batch. Please leave me a comment, let me know if you prefer this recipe with just whole milk or with a 1 cup of evaporated. Thank you for watching. My name is JC and I look forward to seeing you next week with a new video. Please support this channel by subscribing, liking and sharing. And don't forget to hit that notification bell. Thank you.